How's it going, everyone? Today we got a story time of a kid. Oh my God. Today we got a story time of a kid who gets expelled for saying hawk to a spit on that thing 10,000 times in class. Yeah, I don't even know, man. I think this generation might genuinely be cooked. When I saw this story submitted to me in my Instagram, I kind of just took a step back and sat down and really just thought about life for a second. But after that, I got up, took out my phone, and started recording this video because I got to tell you this story, man. It's absolutely crazy. Leave a like in the video right now to claim your free nothing. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and like story videos. And with that being said, let's just jump right into it. So we're going to call the subscriber who submitted the story Alex. Anyways, right, so there's a kid in Alex's class who, yes, I know this is about to sound crazy, but we're going to call him Ben. I know, never used that name on this channel before. But anyways, right, so sure enough, right, Ben, he is one of those Gen Alpha kids who has maximum brain rot. Like, bro has maxed out his brain rot stats. He spends all day on Instagram Reels watching people be hit by trucks. You know, the very standard Instagram Gen Alpha brain rot type behavior. He probably, you know, when he wakes up, puts in his AirPods, listens to the Skibbity Toilet Funk remix, you know, recites his Alpha, Sigma, only the Greek letters that relate to Alpha and Sigma, right? And then goes about his day. I don't really know, man. Anyways, though, so for some of you guys who don't know, there was a popular viral video that went pretty crazy about probably 2 months ago. And it was this girl when she was responding to a street interview. And she said, I think the guy was like, oh, what is a guy like? And she said, hawk Tuah, spit on that thing. Yeah, right. It went really, really big. I mean, I didn't really think it was that funny, but also I always respect anyone. If you got 1 second of fame and you make a couple million out of that, then like, congratulations. Honestly, I don't care. It's just not that funny. And that's okay. Like, you don't have to be funny. Not everything on the internet needs to be something that I love. Believe it or not. I know, crazy concept. Her PR team, by the way, has done an excellent job. She genuinely picked a great team. And very recently, she started a podcast called the Talk Tuah podcast. It's kind of become a little bit of a meme on the internet as well, just because it's like this girl said, hawk Tuah, spit on that thing. And now we're going to ask her about her thoughts about Ukraine. Like, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't get it. But anyways, it's very popular. It's very successful. That's great. Anyways, Ben, the kid, the brain rot kid, he started to see quite a few of these videos of like the hawk Tuah girl. So he is all starting to think to himself, you know, it's the funniest thing ever if I just say hawk Tuah, spit on that thing to everything. This all started one day, actually fairly recently, because during the story, the Hawk Tuah podcast podcast came out. So actually fairly recent story. And sure enough, right, you know, the subscriber, Alex, wakes up one morning, you know, he was up all night doing something, I don't know, maybe playing Fortnite, maybe just like scrolling around, messing around. Maybe he's watching like a 6-hour long video on YouTube. I don't know. Do you guys ever go on YouTube and you see those like videos that are like 3 hours, 10 hours, 20 hours long, analyzing your favorite TV show and movie, and you start watching it and then you look over at the clock and it's actually 4 a.m. and you're cooked for the next day? I was just watching this 12 hours long. Yeah, 12-hour long analysis of the Phantom Menace, the first Star Wars movie. Genuinely such a great video, but it does not need to be 12 hours long, bro. Oh my God. I use it to go to sleep, which is why I make those long compilation videos on my channel, because I know a lot of you guys use those to go to sleep too. Anyways, Alex did not get a lot of sleep that night, because instead of going to sleep to the video, he watched the whole thing. I looked over at his clock. It was 5 a.m, and he woke up at his alarm at 6:30. So he's not in a great mood. Gets on the bus. People are loud. It's just not really an ideal situation. I mean, they're fairly recently back into school, and it's not that type of back to school where it's still kind of a happy, fun vibe. But like, oh, yes, like I'm back. Like, that's great. It's definitely more of it's a couple weeks in. So it's like, okay, class is getting real. It's fun that I'm seeing all my friends again, but I kind of remember why summer was so great, and that's because I don't have to do Algebra 2 homework every night, which is no fun. Guess what, guys? It only gets worse. I need to do Calculus 3 homework every single night. It gets worse. That's all I'm going to say. Anyways, though. So he gets into class, sits down, and in one of this class, where it's an English class, he's a friend in that class. Oh, he doesn't have a friend. He's someone in that class named Ben. And I already explained, Ben was the brainrot kid. This was the first year that Alex ever had a class with Ben. But last year, he knew of Ben because last year, Ben was on a skibbity toilet rampage. Literally would just go down the halls screaming, skibbity bop bop bop, yes, yes, just like down the halls. Would scream that stuff, bro. He would scream it. And so he was known as like Gen Alpha brain rot kid, and he got definitely a bit of a reputation. But Skibbity Toilet kind of fell off in the brain rot community a little bit, not completely, but a little bit. And Hog Tuah spit on that thing, kind of popped in and took its place, man. I don't know. Anyways, so Alex sits down. It's a normal day in class. It's like 9 a.m. He is like on 1 hour sleep. He's not happy about anything. Sits down. And anyways, Ben walks into class. So Ben walks into class, and it's before the teacher gets there, opens the door, and looks at everyone and says, Hog Tuah, spit on that thing. Dead silence, followed by dead silence. The room could not have been less amused. No one even laughed at like the awkwardness. Because, if someone drops a really terrible joke, like sometimes, you know what, I'll start laughing just because, just for the sake of this was pretty funny and the fact that this was so unbelievably unfunny and it was delivered with execution that intended it, that means the person delivering it thought it was going to be funny and get a bunch of laughs for the sake of the humor and wit of the joke. Yes. But this was just so painfully bad that no one even cracked a smile. Like, it probably ruined a couple people's days, if we're being honest. Like, someone definitely just had their entire rest of their day ruined by this whole thing. Yeah, so sure enough, right? Alex looks up, and in Alex's head, he's just like, this is the last thing I want to hear. I'm on like 2 milliseconds of sleep right now. No way this kid just said Hog Tuah spit on that thing. Like, oh my God, bro. Because look, Alex wasn't necessarily amused by the whole meme. Alex didn't really care. Look, at the end of the day, Alex kind of doesn't care what you find funny. But he just didn't necessarily find the Hog Tuah spit on that thing girl that funny. He just didn't care. And also, it's almost like, he doesn't care if you find that funny or not. But it does get annoying when that thing is spammed everywhere, especially if it's not funny. Look, if a joke that is funny is played again and again and again and again and again and again, it becomes less funny. But if a joke wasn't funny the first time and you just see it again and again and again, it just becomes like infuriating. So Alex is sitting in the back of the room, just almost infuriated at this point. And he's just kind of sitting there. And Ben was like waiting for the whole class to react. I don't know if Ben expected like the class to like drop to their knees, start like, I don't know, sharding their pants out of laughter, bro. Just like absolutely just like pukes on the floor because they can't stop laughing, actually asphyxiates from laughter, dies, passes away. The funeral will be held on Tuesday type moment. Like, I really don't know what Ben was expecting. But it was complete silence. And it wasn't like a silence of shock. It wasn't a silence of absence of thought. It was a disappointed silence. It was a are you serious right now, bro? Silence. It was one of those silences of just like, are you serious? Bro, shut up and sit down. That one of those type of silences. So anyways, right, Ben, of course, when a joke flops, what do? You just abandon ship. You just like stop saying anything. You leave the room. You leave the conversation. You apologize to the victims. Or B, right? You try and pivot the conversation. You say a joke, does not land. You immediately switch it to something else as to almost cover your tracks. Or C, you double down. If you answered A or B, well then that's usually what you would do. But Ben is not the usual type of guy. Anyways, so sure enough, right, Ben He chose C. He doubled down. So he looked up in front of everyone. Remember, it's 9 a.m. People are tired. No one wants to be there. It's English class. And they got this English teacher who's like one of those English teachers that will overanalyze every line in the book. It'll be like, the wood is wood colored. And she'll be like, oh. Wow, guys, can we just let that sit for a second? Can we let that simmer? Theodore, what do you think that means? Miss Johnson, I think it just means that the wood is brown. Theodore, you dumb motherfucker, that doesn't mean that. It means so much more. There's layers and layers and layers that we all need to pull back. One of those type of English teachers, right? I go on crazy tangents, man. Anyways, one of those type of English teachers, so no one wants to be there. But Ben is like, Hawk Tuah, spit on that thing. And there's like a little forced laugh afterwards. And I think Ben is like, you know what? You know what's funny? Being annoying. Yeah, that's actually really funny. So Ben is like looking at everyone and he's like, Hawk Tuah, spit on that thing. Hawk Tuah, spit on that thing. Hawk Tuah, spit on that thing. Hawk Tuah. And at this point, everyone's like, oh my God. So one kid in the class like, yo, shut up. And Ben's like, Hawk Tuah. So anyways, the teacher walks in and she's like, sorry, class, I was late. I was, grading all your work. You know how long it takes for me to grade your work? If you guys knew how much effort and time I put into grading all your work, you'd be more appreciative. Dude, I always hate it when teachers do that. I don't hate it. I get it to an extent. But also, at the end of the day, you wrote the assignment. You decided to assign it. And then all of a sudden you're complaining to me, who had to do the assignment, that you chose how long it took for you to do the assignment, to grade it, that you made. Look, don't complain to me. Just make the assignment less intensive next time. I know that's a crazy situation. I know that's a crazy idea. It's actually so theoretically new that it's breaking the laws of physics. That's how new of an idea it is. I know. I'm an outside the box type of thinker. I know. Trust me, I know. Anyways, though, so, let's call her Miss Johnson. Miss Johnson comes in. Oh, sorry, class. I spent all this time grading your papers and everything. So, oh, all right, Ben, just take C, please. And Ben's like, yes, Hawk Tuah, spit on that thing. And Miss Johnson probably heard, but was like, what the fuck? What? Okay. And just ignored the comment. She's like, okay, class, I would like, sit down. We're going to take out our books. We had a reading from last night, and we're actually going to read through together. I thought the writing was so rich, so beautiful. I wanted the words to just come off your tongues, and we can all sit together and absorb such great writing together. Yes. I just want to think about the writing. I just want to think about it. I want to hear it. I want to hear it graze off your lips. And okay, Miss Johnson, relax. Now you're getting a little suspect over here, Miss Johnson. Come on now. Anyways, so they're reading the book, the assigned reading. Alex is like, please don't call on me. And she's like, any volunteers? And usually no one raises their hand. At this point, she's just saying it for the sake of saying it, even though she knows no one's going to raise their hand. And then she goes in and calls someone randomly. And she's always like, oh, well, since no one's going to volunteer, I'm going to volunteer someone for you. And then it's going to be like Alex in the back. And he's going to be like, God damn it. But this time, for the first time ever, Ben eagerly raises his hand. I wonder what he's going to do. Let's play a little trivia game. Answer in the comments. Answer in the comment section before you get to hear. Let's see who gets it right. A. Ben is a good student. Ben is actually an excellent student. He understands that it is his role and responsibility to uphold the classroom, to hold to the standards that his teacher sets for him, to embrace his academics, and to really understand the point and the value of the material that he was assigned. So Ben decides to read the words that are on the page. He reads the chapter and actually gives a short little analysis and commentary afterwards, adding to the value of the class time. That's option A. Option B, Ben says instead of reading, he just starts saying, Hawk Tuah, spit on that thing. Okay, I know this is a really crazy one, but he actually, I'm gonna leak the answer. He goes with B. I know. Brace for impact. He goes with B. You didn't see it coming. You didn't see that coming, but he goes with B, man. He goes with B. Crazy, I know. Anyways, right, so yes, if you answered B, you were absolutely correct. So, Ben raises his hand eagerly, and Miss Johnson, she kind of asked people if anyone wanted to read, almost like as a rhetorical question with the answer implied being no. It's 9 a.m. and there's no one read the book and they all hate it and they just want to be in their phones or one AirPod in listening to music or the Talk to a podcast. And anyways, right, so normally the answer is no. But she's surprisingly like, oh, Ben, yeah, okay, yeah, let's start reading. And Ben's like, all right, chapter 1. Hawk Tuah spit on that thing. Hawk Tuah spit on that thing. Hawk... Miss Johnson's face. Oh my God. Imagine you're a teacher and you ask a student to start reading and he says, Hawk Tuah spit on that thing. Hawk Tuah, and he just starts repeating like some mantra or some kind of crazy ritualistic, like is he summoning a demon or something? What? Anyways, so sure enough, the subscriber, Alex, actually finds this a little bit funny. And not the fact that, like, Ben was being hilarious or, like, oh, my God, Ben, you're so funny and comedically inclined. It was more Miss Johnson's reaction because she was just so utterly dazed and confused. Ben went on for, like, 30 seconds more, probably saying Hawk Tuah spit on that thing. I don't know, like 8 to 10 more times before Miss Johnson's like, Ben, can you please, what are you saying? And can you read from the book, Ben? I honestly think it took so long for her to say something because she was genuinely trying to process what was being said. Because Hawk Tuah spit on that thing is not like your standard English sentence. If I was a teacher, look, this teacher is not accustomed to your standard brain rot. She doesn't spend 18 hours a day watching Skibidi Toilet compilations. Hawk Tuah x Skibidi Toilet, when is that happening, guys? Next episode of Talk Tuah? Anyways, so, what did I just say? Anyways, so Ben's like, yes, I'm sorry. Hawk Tuah spit on that thing. And he just keeps saying it again and again. This time Ms. Johnson's like, she doesn't know what's going on, but all she knows is that this is definitely not the rich and beautiful language that she was expecting to listen to. This was definitely not whatever that was. So she's like, Ben, okay, I'm gonna call on someone else now. And Ben's like, no, okay, I'll actually do it. And she's like, okay, your final warning. So Ben like pauses, is like, clears his throat, waits for the whole room to pay attention, looks down at the page intently as if he's reading, looks up, looks down again, clears his throat again one more time, looks up, says, Hawk Tuah spit on that thing. It says it 3 or 4 more times, and the teacher's like, all right, Ben, that's enough from you. You're done. All right, Alex. And Alex looks up, who he was kind of spacing out. He's like, God damn it. Yeah, so Alex is like, because Alex is like trying to stumble. He didn't even bring in his book, so he's cooked. But thankfully for Alex, there's about to be a major disruption that's going to save him. Real quick, if you've made it this far into the video, I want you to comment share down below. It's the secret word of the day. The reason why I picked share is because I'm looking at one right now. If you're listening to this on YouTube, make sure you are subscribed. And if you're listening to this on Spotify, make sure you rated the podcast 5 stars and you follow. And if you're listening on Spotify or YouTube, just know that I am on both, so you can listen on either one you want to. Make sure you have me added on Snapchat, Connor Pugs. You can see the rest of my life because I spend about like 5% of my time doing YouTube. It's definitely not my full-time only thing. And if you're interested in the rest of my life outside of stories, then make sure I have me added on Snap. You can also submit some stories on there. But the main way that I receive stories from you guys and I check is on Instagram. Go to Instagram. It's Connor Pugs. You'll see me. You'll recognize me. And message me your full story. Follow me first, and then don't ask me, do you want to hear a story? Just message me the whole thing. Thank you. Anyways, let's get right back to it. So Alex is like kind of cooked a little bit because he doesn't have his book. He's like stumbling around a little bit. But Ben almost ignores the fact that he is no longer called on to read. And he just starts saying, Hawk Tuah, spit on that thing. Hawk Tuah, spit on that thing, man. Hawk Tuah, spit on that thing. Do you guys listen to Talk Tuah? Hawk Tuah, I just want to talk Tuah. I don't want that Hawk Tuah. Relatable, right, guys? Spit on that thing. Talk Tuah, respect moment. Like just spamming brain rot, bro. Like actually spamming Hawk Tuah girl brain rot. It's really bad. And at this point, Miss Johnson's like, Ben, if you don't stop that, I'm kicking you out of class. And the whole class kind of looks at him like, bro, you really gonna get kicked out of class and be sent to the principals and probably sent home because you won't stop saying talk to her? Like how the hell do you explain that to your parents, bro? When they have to leave work early, probably get docked in pay to pick you up from school because you wouldn't stop saying talk to a spit on that thing in class. Like I think I would just, I don't know, disown you at that point. Sure enough, Ben does not listen. And he starts yelling. He goes from saying, he starts yelling, Hawk Tuah, spit on that thing. Just like destroy it. I'm just imagining, because at this point, Alex is like both like this is the worst, but also good because I don't want to read. And at this point, Ms. Johnson starts yelling at him, get out of my class, blah, blah, blah. And she's like yelling at him to leave, but Ben doesn't leave. He just keeps on screaming Hawk Tuah. 10 minutes go by of Ben screaming brain rot and Ms. Johnson yelling at him. She eventually calls the security to come down because she doesn't know what to do. Because she's not going to like go to him and grab him or whatever. Like she's not strong enough to do that. And also like, she's like, what do I do? 10 minutes later, security comes in and Ben's like, Hawk Tuah, spit on the thing. Hawk Tuah, spit. Haley Welch, respect moment. Hawk Tuah, 1,000 aura if you Hawk Tuah, spit on that thing. Like just spamming brain rot. And, Miss Davenport just points at Ben. The security guard comes in and like starts to move Ben out. And Ben's like, guys, respect moment for Hawk Tuah, spit on that thing. Who's going to stand up for Hawk Tuah? Guys, he looks around. No one's standing up for Hawk Tuah, bro. I'm sorry. I don't even know what that means. I don't think Ben knows what that means, dude. And so sure enough, he's just kind of standing there. And the security guard comes over and is just like, bro, let's go. And Ben, very like, as he's being escorted out, he like shoves his head in the door one last time. He's like, Hawk Tuah, respect moment. Watching, talk to as I go to the principals. And he just is dragged out. There's 3 minutes left of class. So at this point, Alex is like, oh my God, please let this disruption have interrupted us so bad that I don't have to read. So anyways, Miss Davenport's like, sorry, Miss Johnson. I usually call them Miss Davenport. Miss Johnson's like, hi, class. Well, I don't really know what just happened there, but we have 3 minutes left. So let's just finish the first paragraph. Alex, can you please read? And in that moment, Alex knew he messed up.